Dear students, welcome to today's class. Today we will learn about phrases and clauses. So let's begin with the phrases. What is a phrase? Phrase is a group of words that does not make complete sense by itself is known as a phrase. So phrase is a group of words that does not make complete sense. Let's see some examples. Some people in India. It is a group of words, but it does not give us complete sense. Therefore, it is a phrase. So also, bunch of roses. This is a group of words which gives us some sense, but it does not give us complete sense. Therefore, these both examples are the examples of phrases. Now let's see the types of phrases. How many types of phrases are there? There are mainly 5 types of phrases. First one, noun phrase. The phrase that has a noun or pronoun as the main word is called a noun phrase. So what is noun phrase? Noun phrase is the phrase that has a noun or pronoun as the main word. For example, my brother, the cat, a good student, etc. Now let's see another type of phrase, that is verb phrase. What is verb phrase? The phrase that has a verb or more than one verb as the main word is called a verb phrase. So what is verb phrase? The phrase that has a verb or more than one verb as a main word, that is called as verb phrase. For example, can sing, will do, is going, etc. Let's continue to see the types of phrases. The third type of phrase is prepositional phrase. The phrase that begins with a preposition is called a prepositional phrase. So what is prepositional phrase? Prepositional phrase is a phrase that begins with a preposition. For example, at home, in the room, on the table, etc. Now let's see fourth type of phrase, that is adjective phrase. The phrase that describes a noun or pronoun is called an adjective phrase. So what is adjective phrase? Adjective phrase is a phrase that describes a noun or pronoun. That is called adjective phrase. It may have an adjective as the main word. For example, very poor, extremely good, too difficult, etc. And finally, let's see the adverbial phrase. The phrase that has an adverb as the main word is called an adverbial phrase. So adverbial phrase is the phrase that has an adverb as the main word. For example, very quickly, quite happy, etc. Now let's move on to see about clauses. What is clause? Let's define first. A clause is a group of words with a subject and predicate. So clause is a group of words with a subject and predicate. It is usually a part of a sentence. For example, the sky looks blue in the morning. So the sky looks blue is a group of words which has a subject, that is the sky, and looks blue is a predicate. So it is a clause. A clause must have a verb in it. Clauses may or may not make complete sense. Now let's see the types of clauses. There are mainly 2 types of clauses, that is main clause and subordinate clause. Let's see first main clause. For example, Rani works very hard. So in this sentence, Rani is subject and works very hard is predicate. Since this sentence has only one subject and one predicate, it can be said that the sentence has only one clause. This clause makes complete sense on its own. So we can say a clause that makes complete sense on its own is known as the main clause or independent clause. Now let's see about subordinate clause. What is subordinate clause? A clause that does not make complete sense on its own is known as dependent or subordinate clause. Let's try to understand the main clause and subordinate clause through an example. Rani works very hard so that she can perform well in the examination. So in this example, Rani works very hard is main clause, and so that she can perform well in the examination is subordinate clause. Because the first clause, that is Rani works very hard, gives complete information and may be used on its own. Therefore, it is a main clause of the sentence. On the contrary, the second clause, that is so that she can perform well in the examination, gives some additional information on the purpose of the action in the sentence, that is hard work. It does not make complete sense and cannot be used on its own. Such clauses are called dependent clauses or subordinate clauses because they have to depend on the main clause to make complete sense. So that's all.